Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Nick Challoner, and I'm the Chief Scientific Officer and Sector President for our Life Sciences business. I'm delighted to be here today to present how the needs of our planet for greater sustainable approaches in agriculture and healthcare are creating great opportunities for innovation and increased collaboration with our existing and future customers. Earlier in the session, you were presented with the idea that sustainability is driving societal and regulatory change, which in turn is affecting the needs and wants of consumers and customers, creating opportunities for innovators to take advantage of market disruption. Within life sciences, those key trends that are influencing global innovation activity are equally relevant, and in many ways, life sciences has an advanced role to play. The overarching trends that influence the sector are increases in global population, an aging population, a demand by consumers and customers for enhanced transparency and trust, and also a demand for high-performing, high-quality solutions to global issues. Given the exposure that life sciences has to many of the high-profile UN SDGs relating to land use, crop yields, and societal health and well-being, these trends provide an excellent framework for companies like Croda to create solutions that address some of the world's biggest problems. This echoes the message you all heard earlier from Aris. So let's have a look at what some of these key trends mean in terms of specific impact and requirements. By 2050, it is estimated that the global population will reach 9 billion people. The demands of an increasing number of hungry mouths, mostly in the developing nations of the world, requires agriculture output to significantly increase. Current forecasts from companies like Syngenta indicate that arable crop output will need to increase by 50 to 70%. And in order to do this in a sustainable manner, then yield efficiency and environmental impacts need to be managed correctly. The consequential effect of protecting whatever food we are able to grow becomes obvious when looking at this challenge, and so finding ways in which insect, weed and fungus pest pressures can be eliminated in a sustainable manner is equally as critical. With the population increasing and with a greater number of older people on the planet, the need for cures for new and challenging diseases continues to be a major part of pharmaceutical research. New therapies have focused on the use of biologics as the primary treatment of disease, and in recent years, 8 out of the top 10 selling drugs have contained biological actives. Whilst having great clinical performance, they do present difficulties in formulation stability and delivery, which cannot be addressed using standard excipient technologies. These new technologies are concerning to people in terms of affordable access to healthcare, but equally consumers are worried about transparency, environmental responsibility, and the credibility of the organisations they are receiving their treatments from. In determining the role that Croda will play in addressing these sustainability challenges, we have targeted specific responses. As populations increase, the challenge to keep people fed, healthy, and not compromising the planet's resources is a major issue. For companies like Croda, where the use of renewable raw materials is one of our strategies to a more sustainable future, a key issue for us is the use of agricultural land for development of industrial crops, when that same land might be used for production of food. However, a key element to consider is that these industrial crops can be used to develop novel materials in the area of crop protection, which actually enhance the yield and agricultural output per acre of land used. Our strategy, therefore, is to support the development of formulation aids, seed enhancement solutions, and plant nutrition products such that the land used to grow our raw materials is less than the land saved as a result of the yield enhancements of the raw materials that we supply. Through this approach, we look to save a minimum of 100% of the land used, and we will become land positive, ensuring land productivity is maximised. Societal health as a result of a growing and aging population, in combination with the ongoing occurrence of disease and pathogens, has never been in such focus during current lifetimes as a result of the global COVID-19 crisis. Our contribution to the prevention and treatment of disease is through our pharmaceutical innovations, which are particularly focused on enabling the formulation of new clinical treatments and therapies, often using novel active ingredients. These new actives present many challenges in terms of delivery of the drug into the body and in supporting the biological performance of the API. Our expertise in helping support formulation, testing and regulatory approval of these new systems is helping to improve the health of people around the world, and through this improve the well-being outcomes of an aging population that is increasingly exposed to an array of challenging diseases. You previously heard from Martin and Julia relating to the trends in ingredient transparency and use of renewable raw materials in the supply chain. Transparency, traceability and trust are massively important in my business areas too. Our life science business consists of two parts. The first, a crop protection and seed enhancement business supporting field crops and vegetable agriculture, and secondly, a healthcare business focusing on the areas of pharmaceutical, consumer health and animal health applications. Crop protection and seed enhancement support the same overall aim of ensuring the strong growth and high yields of agricultural plants, but approach it from two different angles. Crop protection is about application of pesticides and yield enhancers, which protect the crop from insect, weed and fungus pressures and support the development of the plant. Seed enhancement focuses on getting the best out of the genetics of the seed itself by providing exactly the right conditions for the plant to thrive once planted. As a result of our desire to be more sustainable in our operations by 2030, we have developed the following strategic approaches in crop protection and seed enhancements, using the UN Sustainable Development Goals as a framework for our activities. We have focused on SDGs 2 and 12, where we aim to have a positive impact on reducing hunger, whilst being conscious of the need to be productive in a socially and environmentally conscious manner. Achieving momentum in both of these targets will require close collaboration with our customers, and so following the principles of SDG 17 and working alongside them as partners will be critical in helping us meet our goal of being land positive. To illustrate this, our innovations are receiving significant interest. Let's look at 4 examples of sustainable innovation in crop care. One of the major issues that farmers are facing today is that of climate change. One might imagine that increasing temperatures and longer summers would be good for growing plants, but this is not necessarily the case. Lettuce, for example, will only germinate when temperatures are below 20 degrees centigrade and the conditions of humidity are correct. Too hot and the seeds simply will not germinate. To address this issue, we have designed processes that help seeds remain viable and germinate in both warmer and cooler climates, helping them to adapt to the challenges of climate change. We call this process seed priming, and it works to naturally enhance the breadth of germination temperatures of the seed. This is a great example of innovation to support climate adaptation. Another key problem for farmers is the issue of spray drift. Many crop protection products are applied as sprays by tractor or plane, and increasingly these days by drone. Many crops are now bred to be resistant to certain pesticides, so that the pesticides can be applied in appropriate concentrations to ensure complete elimination of pests while not damaging the plant. However, drift during the spraying process into adjacent fields and onto different crop species represents a major potential problem for the farmer. This was a major issue with certain crop-resistant soy species and the herbicide dicamba. Our spray drift control adjuvants help improve the specificity of the crop spraying process by controlling droplet size and rheology, thus keeping required agrochemicals located in the targeted area of application, as we would say, every drop on the right crop. The carbon and renewable challenge for industry cuts across the agricultural sector as well. Our investment in renewable chemistries has allowed the creation of new surfactants for the crop market with significantly higher content of renewable raw materials. And finally, no one can have failed to be amazed by the pace of change relating to plastic use and microplastics in the environment. With governments and regulators keen to act, the EU worked to create a legal framework that banned all plastic content from use in crop and seed formulations. We saw this as a great opportunity to lead the industry, to respond to its sustainability challenges, and to also show the true value of our customer-focused innovation. Our microplastic-free coatings for seeds allow for all the functionality required to get the best out of the seed genetics of our customers, whilst using biodegradable polymers which address the consumer and regulator concerns relating to microplastics in the environment. We'll now spend a few minutes meeting Marta Dubrovska, R&D Manager at our Incotec Seed Enhancement facility in Holland.
Here at Incotec, we are working on the seed enhancement. We make sure that seeds get the best start they can get, and we are much more environmental friendly than foliar application or soil application. We make sure that what gets on the seed stays on the seed. Seed treatment is a brilliant way of reducing the amount of plant protection product in the environment. Therefore, we want to make sure that already very sustainable solution is even more sustainable. The problem with the microplastic is that it accumulates in the environment. Microplastics are solid particles that are polymers in our film coatings. Recent developments in the European Union Parliament forced the seed treatment companies to come out with microplastic-free alternatives to the seed treatment. So in 2018 we started to do more research to understand what kind of polymers might contribute to that problem, because of course we all know that plastics is made from polymers, but not all polymers are plastics. So we took a long look at all our portfolio to identify those materials that might be problematic. This year we have already launched our first sunflower film coating, which is microplastic free. In the next few months we are going to launch a corn coating and a vegetable coating, which is also microplastic free, and all this technology is covered by the patent. The first feedback from our customers is indeed very positive. They say that they have never seen as mature a product as Incotec's product, and they also say that compared to the microplastic containing film coatings, our film coatings, which are microplastic free, are much better. Working together with our customers on this development strengthen our position as the most innovative and go-to company. We explain not only what the technology does, but also how the regulation will affect our business, but also the business of our customers. The biggest challenge was to find, on one hand, a soft and gentle polymer that allows the seed to germinate, that allows the seed to grow, but on the other hand is hard enough and protective enough that makes sure that all the plant protection products and all the materials that we want to put on the seed stays on the seed. Well, 5 to 10 years from now, I guess at least the microplastic issue in seed treatment will be solved. I'm sure of that. We are not there yet, but we are very close to have 100% of our portfolio microplastic free. I think that there will be another issue and another challenge that we have ahead of us, and we can tackle that as good as we tackle the microplastic. Working on these alternatives fits very well with the strategy and the purpose of Croda, smart science to improve lives. With this development, Croda is in the forefront of sustainable agriculture, getting ahead of major regulatory changes in Europe.
If our activity in the areas of crop and seeds can support our aims to be land positive, then our healthcare business helps support our future ambition to be people positive. As explained earlier, our healthcare business focuses on the areas of pharmaceutical, consumer health and animal health applications. Our products help stabilise and deliver drugs to the body of humans and animals, as well as supporting the clinical claims of over-the-counter formulations. In our efforts to support the challenges presented to the health of a growing and ageing population, we have targeted our activity to be in line with SDGs 3 and 17, good health and well-being in a manner that requires strong and coordinated partnerships. Specifically, we believe that our role as an innovator in the area of pharmaceutical drug delivery is strong, particularly when associated with the challenges of formulation stability in biological drug systems. As a specific target, we will help fight the prevalence of communicable disease by contributing to the successful development of 25% of World Health Organization listed pipeline vaccines by 2030. Our sustainable innovation programs are also strongly aligned with the needs of our customers. There are many methods of drug delivery, but one of the fastest growing methods is via nasal and oral inhalation to treat respiratory disease. There are limited technical solutions in this area given the sensitivity of the lung tissue, and as such, the available technological solutions to our customers is not broad enough. Through our technology investment in ENZA, we have obtained access to and are commercializing biodegradable sugar-based excipients which are able to support inhalation drug delivery formulation and will enable a broader range of clinical endpoints to be targeted. Our high purity specialty excipients are becoming increasingly used as the gold standard for the formulation of complex drug products, where the development and scale-up challenges are minimized through utilization of the technology. This improves the drug integrity and the storage stability of the finished product and represents access to a $2 billion specialty excipient market niche. The direction of innovation in pharma is increasingly towards biological actives. In recent years, 8 of the top 10 drugs were from this category. Whilst biologics are allowing us to target new disease, they do present major formulation challenges in creating both stable and efficacious formulations. Through our acquisition of Avanti, we obtained leading expertise in lipid chemistry and pharmaceutical delivery. These materials help stabilize and deliver challenging pharma actives to the body, and alongside our high purity excipients are working to drive innovation in the same market niche. Finally, the development of new vaccines has never been higher in the public awareness than it is today. New vaccines need support to be effective in the body, and this is where our adjuvant technology comes in. These adjuvants are increasingly used for complex vaccine formulations to help them work effectively in the body. And in particular, our novel saponin adjuvants are helping the development of vaccines targeting disease such as HIV, malaria, and shingles. Our innovation in this area is creating opportunities in a $500 million adjuvant niche. We will now take a few minutes to hear about Croda's activity in supporting vaccine development for the treatment of COVID-19.
Croda's purpose of using smart science to improve lives has proved to be more crucial than ever, with a number of the ingredients they make essential in the fight against COVID-19.
How did Croda manage to implement the changes that they needed to make quite quickly to meet the demand of COVID-19?
Everybody had to play their part in that, right from me in making sure that everybody's safe on site and that we could continue the operations, down to the people doing the risk assessments themselves, putting in place the hand washing, hygiene, the social distancing rules and arrangements, through to the planners really trying to work out which were the critical products.
Necessarily smaller teams meant finding new ways of meeting customer needs, especially ensuring increased demands could be met for items like excipients, the inactive substances that help medicines reach the right parts of the body.
We altered our manufacturing schedules to prioritise COVID-related products, making sure they met the customers' demands and reached the customers faster to help them in the crucial research they were doing.
Another critical role of Croda during the pandemic has been the development of vaccine adjuvants, which are added to vaccines to make them more efficient. Adjuvants are added in order to enhance the immune response in the body, producing lasting protection against disease. They can help reduce the number of injections while maintaining a high level of immunity. Croda Denmark specializes in producing next-generation adjuvants and is giving them away to various projects around the world working on a COVID-19 vaccine.
Croda has been approached by a number of both academic and industrial groups, R&D groups, and what we've decided from a corporate level is to sample any vaccine adjuvant we have that may be relevant for vaccine researchers.
Croda have been sharing their extensive smart science on adjuvants to help projects developing new vaccines. Immunization is recognized as one of the world's most successful and cost-effective health interventions. As part of their commitment to become people positive by 2030, Croda's life sciences business is working with many companies in a joint effort to develop effective vaccines for other priority infectious diseases as listed by the World Health Organization.
We play directly into some of these sustainable development goals with the UN, in this case SDG 3, where you know everyone has a right to a healthy life. So for us in Croda Denmark, and I think for the wider Croda, this is a very important goal for us.
When you realise the end materials that you're making, actually that's what makes you realise what a vital part we've played in it. It's the real end purpose, it's the human part of it that's the key part in focusing both my team and also Croda in what it does, is that our products do help to improve lives.
I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to listen to how Croda's life sciences business is helping support the sustainability needs of our customers and how we ourselves are able to contribute to a people positive and land positive world. We've seen how legislation and regulatory developments, changing customer demands and market disruption are driving the need for sustainable innovation, a sweet spot for Croda that is supporting significant incremental revenue opportunities. Thank you.